to the couch. My name is Bobby Navia.
And I'm Dorian Weinzimmer. On today's show, we're going to seek the answer to the question, what happens when you combine the writer of Brainscan, the DP of The House Bunny, and the director of Jurassic Park 3? Then while it gestates, beat it in the stomach and feed it a steady diet of Jack Daniels? The latest cinematic miscarriage from Joe Johnston, the Wolfman. Let's take a look.
She exerts enormous power, doesn't she?
Do you believe in curses?
Never look back, Lawrence. Never look back. The past is a wilderness of horrors. Darkest hours of hell lie before you. Run free. Kill or be killed. It is glorious, isn't it?
The Wolfman is directed by Joe Johnston, whose past works include Jumanji, Jurassic Park 3, Hidalgo, and The Rocketeer. If you've seen any of these movies, then you pretty much know what you're going to get with The Wolfman. Just an adventurous movie, like over the top, with somewhat of a solid story. Dorian, what are your thoughts on it, man?
Well, I really had two questions come into my mind when I watched the trailer. The first of which was, who the hell cares? Clearly this movie is being made just because the technology is there. We can update this, classic transformation sequence with all this new CGI, and that's really the only point to this entire movie. And I think George Lucas has proven enough times that just because you have the technology to do something doesn't mean it's a good idea to actually do it.
Right.
And the other question that came to my mind was, can I just flush this fucking thing, or am I going to have to throw this fetus in the trash? Because this is just, as I said before, a cinematic miscarriage in every way.
Right.
And the real problem that I have with the movie, though, is I think it's going to do fine because the average moviegoer seems pretty much okay with premature waste as long as Emily Blunt's ass is attached to it.
I'm hoping it'll be a cross between like Hidalgo and The Rocketeer, because those were two period piece movies that Joe Johnston did. And, Hidalgo was, just a huge ass stretch, but whatever. But The Rocketeer is was like a childhood favorite of mine. So I gotta side more with it, hopefully being more like The Rocketeer in terms of this grandiose adventure than Hidalgo.
And I won't discount the nostalgia factor.
Yeah, exactly.
I succumb to it.
Yeah. So and I know like Jurassic Park 3 was like a horrible movie, but come on, like it had Sam Neill in it, so that's gotta account for something. It had to be fun because of that, right? Like it was fun for that. All right, we're gonna move on now. So I think the cast for this movie looks pretty solid. Benicio del Toro as the Wolfman. He was last seen in Che, which is an awesome movie, and I suggest everyone who's watching this right now to go out and rent it or Netflix it or whatever you got. Hugo Weaving from the Matrix trilogy and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. He always, I think, puts a really good performance, through, really kind of hams it up. And Emily Blunt and, of course, Anthony Hopkins. I don't think this movie would have been possible without Sir Anthony.
Oh, Mr. Anthony.
Mr. Anthony.
Oh, yes. Well, based on what I've seen from the trailer, Anthony Hopkins is just playing a laughing, coked-up pedophile.
Like, for myself, personally, this cast has pretty much sold me on, like, me wanting to go see it. I feel like all of them will give, like, a semi-good performance for whatever the role or for whatever the script was, and they'll bring it out. And, that's pretty much about it. Like, I don't think there's too much to say on, like, the quality of, like, Benicio del Toro should win like a, you know, some sort of award for
Right.
this movie or anything like that. I think he's done so many. I mean, I think you kind of see that with actors like Jamie Foxx did Ray, and then he went and did Stealth,
Yeah.
and was the black guy that died.
Right.
Like, fucked up, you know. And like, I think Benicio del Toro is just kind of doing like the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
I think this is his equivalent to just like a, like an easy movie. you
Whatever.
know?
Yeah. I need to kind of, you know, come down from Che.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
This will ease me back into normal life.
Yeah. Exactly.
Kind of thing.
Personally, for me, I think it's really hard to be wowed these days in movies. Star Trek and District 9 were the last two movies that really gave me that wow feeling, that just grandioso wow feeling. And the only thing that has me hooked on wanting to go see this movie is the CGI transformation from man to wolf. It looks like the live action footage and the CG footage blends really well.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe one of the only entertaining things in the movie. I hope it's not, but at the same time, that's one of the things that has me really jazzed to want to go check out this movie and just have a good time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
not expecting anything, you know, award worthy, but just some cheap thrills and like that's pretty much about it.
Well, I mean, this is the director of Jumanji, which, you know, fuck that movie.
This is
Came out in '95. If I wasn't watching Death Warrant, I was watching Death Warrant Rewind. I mean, come on. I was 13. It was the time. But yeah, I mean, I'm expecting from the trailer and from, you know, everybody involved that this is just going to be another Joe Johnston sort of banal diversion with all the subtlety and nuance of a boot stomp testicle. And, you know, probably just enough visual flair to distract you from the flimsy directing and, well, the eternal pain of never fulfilling the biological imperative to reproduce.
Ouch, man. So
So-
it's not a baby making movie?
No, not at all.
Baby making movie for you?
No, once you see the Wolfman, it's over. The movie Valentine's Day, which stars everyone who's not in Wolfman, is also coming out that day, and I think it's going to kick Wolfman's ass. So my prediction is somewhere in the field of $15 to $20 million for Wolfman. I think Valentine's Day might finally be the silver bullet that puts this movie out of its protracted misery.
Even though I do feel like a lot of people will go see Wolfman, I think the majority will be going to see Valentine's Day because I mean, you know, like it's definitely geared to make vaginas explode,
Yeah.
and so you're gonna have that female populace that's just gonna head for that movie no matter what, you know? Young and old, I think, you know. But I think that Wolfman, my projected box office opening is somewhere in like 34 million.
15 to 20 for me, 30 to 34 for Bobby.
And in later shows, what we'll do is after the movies come out, we'll actually recap at the end of the show what the movie actually made that opening weekend and just compare it to myself and Dorian's predictions before and see if we were way off or kind of close or whatever. Well, we want to thank you for watching our show. If you have any comments
Or complaints.
or just pointless bitching, please shoot us an email at guysonthecouch@gmail.com. And if you want to rip into me for liking Jurassic Park 3, please send those as well. And if we get any really good ones, we'll highlight them on the show.
Oh yeah, I will personally read the best email ripping into Bobby for liking Jurassic Park 3 on the
There'll
next
probably
episode.
just be a separate vignette of Dorian
Yeah,
in some sort of dramatic lighting,
it'll be very Masterpiece Theater-esque.
reading that email.
Indeed.
So again, thanks for watching the show, and stay tuned for further shows that'll come up in the future.
Yep. Bye.